player, Bowman Jewelers Players of the Week, and then we'll talk about the Sanford game, and then we'll just recap the whole season, and I'm sure y'all have got a bunch of questions. Offensive Player of the Week, we decided to split that. Dalton Poncelli, a wide receiver out of Nashville, graded out 86%, had 4 receptions for 68 yards and a touchdown, and just did a heck of a job for us, especially on a 24-yard play on 3rd and 19. And Drake Powell almost matched him up tit for tat. He had grade out 86, 4 receptions for 59 yards. His 4 receptions tied a team high with Poncelli. Had a key 27-yard reception that ended up getting us a big first down. So those 2 guys very deserving of that award. Defensively, the player of the week was the entire defensive unit, including the coaches. Just an overall wonderful game. They held Sanford to 265 yards total offense, which was extremely low. I didn't realize, I thought we had held them the least, but Central Arkansas held them to 257. Since that time, they probably averaged over 500 yards a game. Sanford only threw for 122 yards, which was by far a season low for them. And in the second half, Sanford only had 49 offensive yards, which is absolutely amazing that we were able to do that. And you look at it overall, they were 2 for 10 on 3rd down conversions, and we held the ball for 43 minutes, which we'll get into that in just a minute. Special team player of the week was J.J. German, and rightfully so. 3 for 3 on field goal attempts, and all of them were crucial. 38-yard field goal with 8:57 left. Made it 7-3. Then he kicked another one, which made it 14-12. And then obviously the last one, which we did that intentionally, what we wanted to try to do, and I think we did, and I think half the people in the stands went about half crazy wanting us to go for a touchdown and all that. What we tried to do was get us in as short a field goal range to make sure there were absolutely no seconds left on that clock when the ball was kicked. And I thought our coaches did a great job of that. So you got to give JJ a lot of credit, because that was truly a pressure situation. He's had 2 of those. You think about the 2 wins we've had, he's made kicks that when there's probably as much pressure on him as there was anybody. Effort play of the week, Chad Pritchard. We were trailing 14-9 with about 8 minutes to go in the game. And on 36-yard line, Austin hit him with a 26-yard gain, made a first down, which was a big play. And then a couple plays later, obviously JJ kicked a field goal, which was a big play. And then the impact play of the game was basically it tied. Dylan Weigel knocked the fumble loose as they were going in, and Tremont Farrell recovered the fumble. So that, without a doubt, was the impact play of the game, because if they had scored there, then we'd have been in a lot of trouble. Our 2 guys who have done a really good job all year long, Emmett Robinson was Offensive Scout Squad of the Week, and Elijah Mathis right here from Johnson City Science Hill was the Defensive Player of the Week, and both those young men have a chance to be really successful. So, you know, that's our Players of the Week, and just found out that J.J. German was named SoCon Player of the Week, which is a great honor and very deserving, and he's done a good job, and quite honestly, I think he probably needs to be at least, I know, nominated for all SoCon team, because he's done a good job for us all year long, and hopefully he'll have an opportunity to get that. But he's done a good job and been very close to getting it several other times. So, Defensive Player of the Week, Dylan Weigel was nominated, and you know, he's been nominated several times and done a really good job there. So, but talking about the Sanford game, obviously a great win for our program. Great win for these young men. Totally bought in. Probably as well coached a game and well played a game as we possibly could have. We knew going into the ball game 2 things that we wanted to do. Number 1 was run a lot of time off the clock, and I thought Austin did a great job of controlling that clock and running it down a couple. Matter of fact, I started to call a timeout several times because I didn't think we were going to get the playoff, but he ran it down to 1 second and then got the playoff. We felt like we needed to do that to have a legitimate chance to win the ball game, and we did that. And we'll talk about in just a minute time of possession. But on defense, you know, we knew going in that you know, what we wanted to do was force them to get one-dimensional. I don't know that they ever got one-dimensional, but I know they were not on rhythm throwing the football like they have been all year. So you look at the 2 or 3 things time of possession, 43, almost 44 minutes compared to their 16. And that was a new ETSU record for time of possession. The old time of possession was 40 minutes and 37 seconds, which was in 1997. That was probably before a couple of you guys were even born, I would think. So, you know, that was a big key in the game. You know, just not letting them have the football, because we knew the more they had the football, the more likely they had a chance to score. But you know, you look at that, and then we outgained them 329 to 265. We only ran for 91 yards, but if you look at the time of possession, you'd think we ran for 350 yards. That's how good a job we did on third down conversion ratio of milking the clock, running the time off, and getting done what we needed to get done. But I thought both sides of the ball did an outstanding job there. If you look at it, you know, they were 2 of 10 on third down conversions. We were 6 of 15, which was a big key for us. And if you look at the second half, I don't think they had but about 68 yards of offense the second half, if I'm not correct. Is that correct? 49, so less than I thought they had. But if you look at the entire ball game, our defense keeping them out of the end zone, forcing them to make some bad plays, offensively being able to convert on third down situations, being able to make plays when we had to make them, throwing the football on third downs. And like I say, anytime that you are able to have 43 minutes of possession time, normally you'd think, well, they ran the ball all over the field, and we didn't. I mean, we took every second in a throwing and passing game, and I thought Coach O'Kane, along with Austin Herrick, our quarterback, did a great job of, like I say, running the time off the clock. And we got done exactly what we wanted to do. It's kind of like something that you think about, want to get done, and at the end of the ball game, we got it right where we wanted it, and we wanted to kick it with 2 seconds to go, so there was no chance that they could get the ball back, and we were fortunate JJ knocked it through there, so we won the ball game and beat a team that's ranked in the top 20 and going to the playoffs. So very fortunate to win, but it was a great win. I thought our players played with a tremendous amount of excitement. I don't know the name of the song that comes on, but I know when that song comes on, when I see all the players on both sides jumping up and down like bunnies, that it's making some noise, and it has happened 2 or 3 times. I mean, I'm looking out there, they're playing the song, and both teams are just jumping up and down. So I said, you know, if that'd be me, I'd want MC Hammer in Hammer Time, but players don't even know where that came from. But anyway, what a great win. Great win for our program, great win for our players, great win for our staff, and obviously a great win for ETSU. But it's exactly where we wanted to end up. We had a chance to compete, and that's what we wanted to do, and we did that. We beat a team that's ranked in the top 20 that was just selected to go into the FCS playoffs, and I'm glad they got there, because it would have been a shame for us to knock them out and them not have a chance, even though that was our goal, to make sure that they didn't have a chance to go. So, but I'm glad they did go. That I think says a lot about the SoCon. I do want to compliment our coaches. Coach Taylor did a great job, along with our other defensive coaches, and Coach O'Kane on offense, of putting together game plans that coexisted and made us have the best chance to win the football game, because we won the ball game, in my opinion, at this stage in our program, the only way we could win it. We wanted to run a lot of time off the clock. We wanted to make sure we converted and got first downs. We wanted to make sure we eliminated as many turnovers as we could, and defensively, we wanted to make sure if we bled that we were going to bleed slow. And I think we did that, and like I say, it turned out exactly, you know, how you would imagine a victory like this turning out. To be able to kick with 2 seconds to go and win the ball game, what else can you ask? In the last game of the season, we'll go into the off season with I think a great attitude and opportunity to feel like that we've got a chance to be successful. So when you look at where we started, where we ended up, you can't ask for any more. To compliment our SoCon, I said it time and time again, to me the SoCon is to FCS football, is the SEC, is the FBS football, and we're going to find out, because we've got 4 teams that I think it's the first time, if I'm not correct, that we've had 4 teams to go into the playoffs. I know there's been 3 a bunch of times, but I do believe this is the first time that SoCon has had 4. And I think all of them have got a chance to be very successful. Some of them because of what they do on offense, and you know, they've got their hands full that first game. But you know, I'm going to be a SoCon fan, and I hope all our players will. You know, we want to root those guys on, because the better they play, the better it makes us look as well. But you look at it, our schedule, what we played this year, we had some highs and lows, but the lows were basically the teams that are really ranked high right now. And we know by playing them where we need to go as a football team and a football program. I don't think there'll ever be another time that we don't feel like, hey, we got a chance to play. You look at our 3-year schedule. 2 years ago, we played St. Francis, which I'm not sure any of us realized how good they are, and they're in the playoffs now. You played Montana State, who didn't have as good a record, but they got a quarterback that ended up being the starting quarterback for Oregon. So obviously they were a good challenge for us that year. And then we played Charleston Southern, who's in the playoffs again this year. So you look at that year, and then you look at this year, you got 4 teams that made the playoffs that are in SoCon, in my opinion, and probably a 5th in Kennesaw State that probably could have been in the playoffs that didn't make it. And then you add with that to next year, James Madison. So, you know, we're playing, I think, a very competitive schedule. By doing that, I think it makes our guys understand what it's going to take to have a chance to get in those playoffs, and that is our goal. Obviously, our number 1 goal is to win the SoCon championship, and our number 2 goal is to get into the playoffs, and usually that's going to go hand in hand. So we're excited about that and excited about where our program's going. You know, it's hard to imagine that we've only been in existence now for about 2.5 years. And to see where this program is going, but to see the growth of these guys, you know, I can give you some numbers real quick. Out of our 114-man roster right now, we've got 4 seniors. Chad Pritchard, you got Royce Turnbull, you got Tavion Lott, and then I left out somebody who did I leave out? Ryan Powers, and those guys, all 4 have done something special for this university, for this football program. Chad Pritchard, I know we've talked about it time and time again. He got cut a couple times and came back and ended up being one of the best receivers we've got. You got a guy like Ryan Powers, who gave up a 3-year starting job at Stetson to come up here and help build this program and to do what he's done and basically play on one leg for over half the season. I've got tremendous respect for him. Then you got Tavion Lott, who may have a shot at pro ball depending on what people see, but he'll have a chance to, I think, show him what he can do. And he's done a good job of solidifying the secondary that needed his athleticism at cornerback. And then you got Royce Turnbull, who was a young man who came in here with a great deal of potential. It's been kind of injured his whole time. But, you know, when you look at that, you had 114, now you got 110, and only 10 of those 110 are going to be seniors next year. So we've got a bunch of them back for a long time. The great thing about it, we got a bunch of them back, and most teams that we're getting ready to play next year don't have them all back. So we're excited about that. That obviously says we feel like we're going to get better, and we need to get better. I do like the fact that, you know, we started out last year at 2-9. I don't like 2-9, but at the same time, 2-9. Now this year we're 5-6, so we've obviously over doubled the win productivity, and you know, everybody will be expecting 7 or 8 or more next year, and so do we. But the main thing we want to do is make sure that we can compete week in and week out, and I think we'll be able to do that. Obviously, our guys know they have learned on the run. We've developed leadership on the run. We've developed depth on the run. We've developed physical size and maturity on the run. So we've had to do a lot of things moving forward, because if you look at it, probably we started a year ahead of them when most people would have started football. But you look back at it, I think we're where we need to be right now. And who knows if we did it the right way or not, but I do feel like we did. And the fact that we built this program with young guys, I know it's been tough developing that foundation, but because of the foundation we built, now we've got a bunch of guys coming back year in and year out, and that's one of the exciting things about this football team and where we're headed as a football program. So, you know, you look at our year, started out with a great win against Kennesaw State. You look at Kennesaw and, you know, last year what they did to us, and I think I said it when we beat them, we beat a good football team, and they've proven that. I felt like they should have probably been in the playoffs this year. They didn't make it, but they had a great year. And then to go to Bristol Motor Speedway and beat, I think at that time, a football team that was very dangerous and had a great opportunity ahead of them. But I think because we beat them, I'm not sure they ever fully recovered from that in Western Carolina. But, you know, just to be able to play at Bristol Motor Speedway, I think all of you were there. And what a great atmosphere. It's a memory that I know it'll last me a lifetime, and I'm sure y'all, and I know our players. So whether we'll ever have an opportunity to do that again, that is a special time in ETSU football history, along with having the largest crowd that ETSU's ever had. And then to finish the season up, beating the number 18 ranked football team in Sanford, who came in playing for everything. So it's not like I said, and we told our players, they're not going to overlook us. They didn't overlook us, so we beat them. It wasn't like they didn't play hard and didn't try to get the job done. So that was a big win for us. And obviously to over double the win total from last year, end up 5-6. All of us would like to have been 6-5 because there is a difference in a winning season and a losing season. But just to see us get to where we got, especially after that spurt in the middle of the season where we lost to some really good football teams by some large margins, and to see these guys fight back, bounce back, and end up strong the last 2 games, really the last 3 games, because Mercer was just as important. And you had Mercer and Cumberland and then Sanford. So, we played our best, in my opinion, we played our best overall consistent football the last 3 games of the season. That's what you want to do. You look at it returning wise, out of 2 deep, which is 44 positions. We've got 41 of those 44 coming back. And most of those 41 out of 44 are going to be back for at least 2 years. So that's an exciting time for all of us. I do want to take the time to talk about that stadium for a minute. I hope, has everybody in here been able to see where that stadium is? If you get a chance, you need to go on it, and you need to get up in that press box. They'll let you get up in there, because it, as good as it looks from the road or from the practice fields, once you get up in there, you really appreciate and respect it. And it's an exciting feeling, and I think for our players as well, to know that that's where we're going to be playing our football game starting next football season, which is a great, great time. And another historic event. I mean, it's a historic event, just like playing at the BMS was, or playing the first SoCon game in 13 years, that type of thing. So that's going to be exciting. You look at it, Scott Carter's done a wonderful job with our schedule, and most of our guys will have a chance to play against these teams, but you think down the road, having a chance to play a Tennessee, having a chance to play a Georgia, having a chance to play a Vanderbilt, having a chance to play an Appalachian State, along with the SoCon conference schedule, that speaks for itself. So there's a lot of good things going on right now, and I think we're where we need to be going into recruiting. So again, like I say, right now, at this point, and I'm one of those guys, I've been coaching a long time, and the feeling at the end of the season is a lot better after the last game as a win of going to that off season with a loss. There is just a totally different feeling, and that's one reason that I've always said, we need to win this last ball game so we can take it into the off season, spring recruiting, spring practice, and get ready for the next year. And like I say, I'm so proud of our players for what they've done and what they went through this year, because all of it wasn't perfect, all of it wasn't pretty. We had some ups and downs, had some frustrations, some turmoil. But all said and done, the strength that was developed by this football team is second to none, and there's no doubt because of that, we've got some great leaders on this football team, and I think they've stepped forward, and I do feel like you'll see this football team continue to improve. And, like I said, I think we've tried to do it the right way by building it with freshmen to sophomores to juniors to seniors, instead of going out and getting a bunch of transfers or a bunch of junior college guys and maybe winning that first or second year and then all of a sudden go downward. We don't want to do that. What we did was get guys like Darren Artis, some of these guys that did transfer in that believe in what we're trying to do, and make the nuts and bolts of it with true freshmen, and then spot it with transfers and junior college guys that fit into the profile of an ETSU student athlete, and I think we've done a pretty good job of doing that. So we're excited about where we're at and excited about where we got a chance to go, and it's pretty nice to go into Thanksgiving with a win and relaxing and see how much weight you can gain in 6 days. So, Austin, you going to do that? John. So I'll open it up for questions. Anybody got questions or anything? But I do appreciate all of you guys, because most of you have been here all year long through the thick and the thin, and I think been very, very respectful in your questions and taking answers and understanding it's not always going to be perfect, but we'll always try to be honest with you. So, questions?
Pretty nice habit to be getting into smiling at your last press conference.
Absolutely. I like smiling. I like smiling after a win when he brings the food in. And quite honestly, you don't have to worry about the next week playing. When this is last game and you're dealing with the win, you're dealing with the high of where we are right now, pretty special time. So, yeah, Joe, I enjoy that. Make me live a lot longer.
What was the effect of that last year? You won your last game last year, and you talked about how that would carry over into the spring?
Well, I think it did. I think wins came not too often last year. Didn't come as often as we'd like this year, but still, if you win that last game, you got something to hang your hat on and say, hey, we got a chance to get better, and I think we did. I think you saw that by what we did last spring in the offseason and how well we played against a very good Kennesaw State team that first game of the season.
Hey, Coach, talk a little bit about sticking with the running game. I know fans sometimes will see you don't gain a lot of yards, but it ended up you guys 23 more minutes time of possession, which turned out to be.
Yeah, like I said, I probably a fan in the stand. Might have been a boring game. I don't know. But I know it was a type of game that we knew going into the game that we had to play to have a chance to win. If we had not run that time off the clock, regardless of how many, you look at time of possession and it does not add up with the yards we gained rushing especially. But what we were able to do was on third down, Austin was able to make some key conversions that kept us on the field. And then when we needed to run the ball, we were able to run the ball enough to keep them off balance. So that gave us a chance to have that time of possession. And you look at it now, wow, I mean, nothing on paper looks like what really happened. I mean, the time of possession, obviously a ETSU record, but more important than that, when you look at less than 100 yards a game, less than 100 yards rushing, it's hard to imagine that because when you normally throw the ball, just like Sanford, when you normally throw the ball, you're not going to have a great deal of time of possession, but we did. And I think, like I say, Austin did a great job of it. Coach O'Kane did a great job of it. And they scared me to death about 15 snaps on the sideline because I thought we were going to get a too much time penalty, which we didn't. And that was the reason. We did, as a football team and staff, exactly what we needed to do to have a chance to win, and it worked out.
Is that where a veteran staff comes, into play? Because, you guys don't abandon the run. A lot of younger coaches would probably at that point try to get away from it when they say they're not making it.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is we don't have an ego staff. We got a staff that's interested in winning, that's interested in helping us have a chance to win so our players feel good about what they're doing along with us. And in today's world, quite honestly, it's like the American way, a quick fix. I've been a couple places where you're behind by 35 points, and instead of just getting beat 35-0, then you throw about 20 more passes and you get beat 55-0, and that's not a very good feeling. And we don't have that on our staff, regardless of how many yards we gain on offense or how many yards we give up on offense. We're interested in one thing at the end, that's win or lose. And like I say, we were able to do that. Everything in this game turned out exactly in a crystal ball how we envisioned it turning out. We kept the ball a great deal of the time. Defensively, we made the plays we needed to make, and I'll be quite honest with you, how we ever held them that few yards passing is absolutely amazing. And then we were able to get done what we wanted to get done. We had timeouts to use if we needed them, but obviously at the end we didn't want to use them. We wanted that clock gone. I didn't want a minute. I didn't want 50. I didn't want anything on that clock. We had that chance to win the ball game. We'll win it or lose it with one kick and go with it from there. And JJ obviously did a great job with it.
What do you do coaching your guys to hold on to the ball? You only lost 2 fumbles all year.
Amazing, Joe. I wish I could say we had the magic potion for that, but we don't. I think our players are very aware that turnovers will get you beat. We didn't turn the ball over very much all year long, and that's probably one reason we won 5 games. If we had turned the ball over like most teams in America, three times a game, then I'll guarantee you we wouldn't have won 5 ball games. It's amazing how few times we did turn that ball over, and I'm not sure I knew 2 fumbles all year long. I don't know. Somebody needs to go back and check SoCon stats because I'm not sure that would not be a record as well. Now that's pretty stout.
Coach, can you talk about the growth? Last year you lose to 2 Division III teams. This year you beat 2 top 25 teams. How can you explain that growth in just a season? Well,
I'd like to play about 3 more Division III teams. Got about 3 more wins, but they don't. I'm just teasing y'all. I hope y'all know that. I think that tells you how far this program's come in a year, and I think it comes from being 17 versus 19 or 19 versus 21. Obviously, we spotted in a couple guys at key positions that we felt like we needed some more maturity and experience. So therefore, you got guys like a Paul Hunter, Ryan Powers, just guys that we needed a spot in there that helped us get better at certain positions that we needed to get better quickly to give our whole football team a chance to win. But I think it's just a matter of, is like I said, when we're building this house, first thing you got to do is build your foundation. And I feel like even though it crumbled a little bit early last year, it's now starting to harden and getting better. And quite honestly, I'm not sure that anybody can throw much more at these young men that's already been thrown at them, which gives them a chance to deal with adversity week in and week out. And these guys, that's what I said earlier, they hadn't had juniors and seniors to tell them how to act when you get beat by 45 points or when you got some kind of type of adversity you got to come through. They've had to deal with it themselves. And I think because of that, as they get older and these guys we bring in, they will be able to teach them and show them, hey, that's the reason coach does what he does. That's the reason he's hollering at you right now for not doing what you're supposed to do. This is where you're supposed to be. This is how you need to be part of this program, part of this ETSU football team. And I think guys that you see right there, Darren and Austin and all the guys now that we have that are juniors and seniors, it shouldn't be as hard on us or them to bring young kids in here and let them understand their place and where they need to go to get to where we want to be.
You still have players that redshirted this year?
Oh, yeah.
Redshirt next year?
Oh, yeah. We'll always I mean, if we had a perfect world, I'd love to recruit all freshmen and come in here and beat the seniors out, but it's not going to work like that on the FCS level. What we want to do is recruit guys that have the ability to grow, mature, take advantage of the weight room, and all those. If they're already mature coming out of high school, and there's some of the guys that we're getting right now, they're probably going to FBS. The guys we're getting are guys maybe that are tall, lean, that need to gain 30 pounds, or that run well, that need to gain weight, or maybe a little bit too short. And what we've got to do is get them to where they need to be. But I think we've done a really nice job of that, and I give a lot of credit to Al Johnson, our strength coach. Our players love him. He's tough on them. He works them, but they believe in what he's doing, and I think that's one of the reasons that we've gotten as good as we have, as quick as we have. And we're a long way from it. It's not like we're sitting here at 9-2, but to see this team go from 2-9 to 5-6, that's against competition that is a much better, and I don't take that away from anybody we play. But to see the type of competition we played week in and week out this year as compared to last year, that's totally different.
Will you just talk about your confidence in JJ? I mean, a sophomore kicker to hit 2-game winners like that this year.
Well, first of all, if you talk to JJ, he's way mature beyond his years. He's, he just looks mature. He looks like he's 25 years old. But, he's a guy that he believes in himself. He believes in his teammates. And I said it before, if it's inside that 40-yard line, I feel pretty comfortable he's got a chance to make it most times, more times than not. And I about didn't say it enough. You got to realize you got a snapper named Adam Mullins who's done a really good job of snapping all year, and that tighten you up too when you got to snap that ball with 2 seconds to go to make sure it's a good snap so they don't have a chance to block the kick. And then you got Nick Sexton who's done a wonderful job of holding. So from snap to hold to kick, it's all got to be there, and our offensive line and everybody on that extra point field goal team did the best job, because we didn't do as good a job last week with that now. I mean, we got one blocked and got one that should have been blocked. So I think Coach Losa did a good job of getting those guys tightened up on what we needed to do, and really there was no leakage, and in my opinion, they didn't have a chance to block any of the kicks that we kicked.
Coach, you mentioned Nick, and then he and Austin, just with the quarterback, you had sort of a back and forth battle last year, and then the way they both handled their situations and roles this year, just talk about how.
Yeah, well, first of all, I mean, both of them are exceptional young men, and I don't say young men, they're exceptional men. I think they handle it, and they're competitive. I mean, Nick would like nothing more than to beat Austin out. I can tell you that right now. Just like Austin doesn't want to give up that starting job. But they help each other get better. They're close friends off the field and on the field. And, we feel very comfortable if Austin went down that Nick would come in, and if Austin, was like a pitcher and not throwing the ball where it needed to be or getting rid of it enough that we could bring Nick in and get the job done. But Obviously, we felt going into the season, and Coach O'Kane did, that we needed to go with Austin. We did go with Austin, and Austin did a great job for us all year long. And you know, there's certain games he got beat up again this year, and then we just got to get better and better at that. And I've said it time and time again, he's a lot better runner than he gives himself credit for being, and I think he proved that last game because he made some key runs in key situations that kept that clock moving and kept the chains moving forward. So he's done a good job, but you know, Nick's a great guy. He's a lot of fun to be around. He's a great young man. And, you know, I have great confidence if he had to come in, he would get the job done. But right now, he knows his role. But he also understands my job next year is try to beat Austin out, which will make both of them better.
Any other questions for Coach?
Guys, again, we appreciate you being here, appreciate all you've done, and sorry that y'all won't get to eat again unless you can talk Kevin into coming on in here and getting a lunch every other week. But like I say, I appreciate what you've done for ETSU football especially, and you know, hopefully in the very, very near future we'll be talking about getting ready for a playoff game next week, see where that's at. But the excitement of the new stadium next year, the excitement of where this program is going, you know, right now is a good time for me during this Thanksgiving week just to sit back and say, wow, it's amazing all the many, many things that have happened really in this 3-year period of time, from the support to the recruiting to the facilities to the administration, just a lot of different things that, you know, if you hadn't been where y'all are, you don't really see that. All you do see is a finished product, and it's not a finished product. There's been a lot of painting and drywalling and everything else going on to get this thing where it's at, and we still got a long way to go and got to do a good job of recruiting. But if we continue to recruit young men like those two, Darren and Austin, and the many guys we've got on this football team, I think ETSU and ETSU athletics can be very, very proud of what we're producing with our football program. So,
Thanks, Coach.
all right, guys, appreciate y'all.